Melissa was located about 179 kilometers southeast of Morant Point, or roughly 145 miles southeast of Kingston. The system is crawling toward the west-northwest at
when we'll get wind
2 kilometers per hour, but listen to this. Forecasters warn it will pick up strength and could become a major hurricane by Sunday. Maximum winds are now near 120 kilometers per hour, with even stronger gusts. Hurricane force winds extend to 55 kilometers from the center, while tropical storm force winds stretch as far as 205 kilometers out. Over the next few days, Melissa is expected to dump between 350 and 650 millimeters of rain on the island. Now that's enough to trigger catastrophic flash flood and landslides that the eastern parishes will likely feel tropical storm force winds Saturday, with hurricane conditions possible by Sunday or Monday along the south coast. Forecasters are warning of a life-threatening storm surge that could reach 7 to 11 feet above ground, especially in areas east of where Melissa makes landfall. Now, those surges will come with large and dangerous waves. Evan Thompson, Principal Director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, highlights the elevated intensity of rainfall associated with the slow-moving passage of Hurricane Melissa.
Morning would have been 29, bulletin number 29 that was issued at 11 o'clock. And just to give you an idea of some of the information that is there, while I'm hoping that we will be able to show a few slides, some images that I captured. The latest position was at 16.5 north and 75.1 west. Now that means that the system still has not moved very much. The movement has still only been about 2 miles per hour. And that has been the situation for the past 24 hours. No significant movement. There has been some strengthening, however, where the system has actually moved from storm at wind speeds of 45 kilometers per hour to 60 to 65, and now reaching 110 kilometers per hour. At 119 kilometers per hour, it would be classified as a hurricane. So it is really on the brink of becoming a hurricane, moving still toward Jamaica. The expectation, well, the system is currently moving toward the northwest, and that is or west-northwest, and that is at just 1 mile per hour. And it is packing winds, as I said, of 110 kilometers per hour. Now that system is expected to continue moving toward the west-northwest. You would see one image here that gives you an idea of what the mass of clouds associated with the system look like. And if you look into that black area, at the center of the black, almost a circle, you'll see where the eye of the system is located. Very little movement, but it is drifting closer to the island of Jamaica, the eastern part of Jamaica, that's moving toward the northwest at only 1 mile or 2 miles per hour. Now it's expected to continue that motion throughout much of today, and then it is going to be moving toward the west, to move westward along the southern. Let me move to something that will show you a little bit more. There we go. If we take a look at this, it might be a bit small for you, but those black circles indicate the position of the system in the projected track. So it's expected to move toward the west, and when it is south of Jamaica, south of Clarendon in particular, it's expected to start moving toward the north.
Of course, that system we now know is Hurricane Melissa. Residents in St. Anne are bracing as Hurricane Melissa edges closer, with forecasters warning the powerful system could make landfall near the Garden Parish. Well, we're going to check in with Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis. Good afternoon, Mr. Belnavis. Mr. Belnavis, are you there? Mr. Belnavis, trying to make sure we have you connected. We're not hearing from Mr. Belnavis. Let's try one more time. Mr. Bell Navis, can you hear me? No, we are not getting through to Mr. Bell Navis. We'll take a quick break right here to sort things out, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Mr. Bell Navis.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
We can't come back and do the same. Mr. Bell Navis, checking one, checking. We now have the Mayor, Michael Bell Navis, on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon to you and your listeners.
You are no doubt very busy at this time. We were wondering if you were too busy to reach out to us. We're happy that we got the connection. Tell us about the progress of preparations there right now.
Well, the municipal corporation met earlier on with the councillors earlier on in the week, just to kind of get a feel for what is it that they may have issues with in terms of the drains, in terms of just the organization in their respective division, all 16 divisions. And we're satisfied now that we're ready. We have currently removed the infirmary from Priory in St. Anthony, the Markham Darby Technical High School, but the infirmary is on the ocean side. So we want to ensure that they are safe and sound, because we have a fiduciary responsibility for the homeless and the infirmary. Homeless with the drop-in centers open throughout the hurricane. So we'll be dealing with that as it comes. And they have facilities also for sleeping overnight. We met with the constabulary force, NWA. Just this morning, we had a conference call with the St. Anthony Regional Hospital to ensure that all the various departments are up to speed and reported to the Minister Tufton earlier on about our status. And we're ready from as far as the hospital goes. Municipal Corporation with its infirmary and drop-in center, we're ready. The constabulary force have assured me that they'll be looking out for looters, anything unusual, so they're ready. They're bringing in some soldiers and so on to ensure that everything is maintained in the tourism, as far as I'm concerned, the tourism capital. Well, so we have done everything necessary. We gave each councillor in the parish funding to deal with drain cleaning. And of course, some additional funds was procured just this week for tree cutting to ensure that we don't have an issue with trees falling. But you're going to have that, because we anticipate whichever way it goes, there's going to be a lot of tidal surge, and that will come with it a lot of rain. And with a lot of rain comes landslides and slippages, and we're prone to that in St. Anne, because the south of St. Anne is a lot, it's underlaying hills and so on. So we anticipate there's going to be a lot of flooding and mudslides and so on. So there are areas such as up in the hills of Bensington and Cape Valley and Limehall and so on. Pimento Walk. We anticipate there's going to be slippage. So right after the hurricane, we are putting in place a system where we'll have tractors and so on ready to clear the roads so that the entire North Coast can be, we can have clear traffic flow, because it's the North Coast, so we have to ensure that is maintained. And of course, going through the various districts and so on, going up the Brownstone Road, all those major thoroughfares, we have tractors in place to right after the hurricane to go out and clear the roads. So we're putting everything in place. The shelters, all 84 shelters are open for residents, and we're urging them to bring along your normal personal supplies that you normally have. The bathrooms are there, the rooms are there, and if there are emergency situations, we will be there to service and supply some emergency situation. But shelters are not hotels, so we encourage you to bring along whatever you feel necessary for your personal hygiene, your personal state of affairs, your pills and so on. And we urge the residents of St. Anne to be calm. We've been through this before. The Municipal Corporation stands here ready. I'll be at the Emergency Operating Center along with the CEO and some other councillors to ensure that we take charge of the parish as we are by law supposed to do. And we'll be out there right through the hurricane, ensuring that any issues out there, you can call into the Municipal Corporation. And we have a direct line to Adpen for emergency situations. We'll get the emergency people out there to assist you in whichever way. So it is something that we are accustomed to, and we'll be doing it, and we're doing it in first class way.
Quite an extensive update there as it pertains to our residents. But you do have tourists in your town and beyond. Have you had any reports of any hasty retreat, anyone wanting to leave or changing their travel plans?
What found is that this has been around for so long, this particular weather situation, that people who wanted to leave have already left. Some people have been coming in because the hotels are saying that there are people booking into the hotels right now. And I believe that a lot of these folks are locals, looking to come from Kingston and so on, and they rather weather the storm at a hotel because, it's just a nice way to weather a storm. So the hotels are there, they're saying that they are full. And it's not just one or two hotels. It seems like all the hotels are full right now. And I believe it's mainly with locals. The foreigners enjoyed being in Jamaica where the sun, sea, or hurricane, because it's just how they enjoy themselves. They have hurricane parties, and they make a grand time of it. So we anticipate that it's going to be difficult times, but if you want to say it's going to be fun. At the same time,
well,
you can use that kind of euphemism.
Let's hear what you have to say after. Let me just ask you, sir, about traffic. Any concerns in that regard?
Traffic?
Yes.
Well, today was very, very quiet in the town of Otrius and St. Anne's Bay. I spent a lot of the time today in Otrius and St. Anne's Bay, where the municipal corporations, and in Otrius, where I'm the council for Otrius, going through it, getting a feel for last minute preparation, and doing some final drinking along James Avenue and along Milford Road. We have teams of men going through and ensure that the drains are properly clean, last minute cleaning. So there's very little traffic. Everybody seems to be at home now, because most people were told to go home late last night. So there's very little traffic on the road as we speak. And I anticipate that it will be like this going into the weekend, tomorrow being Sunday. I expect that's going to be a ghost town. And into Monday, when we anticipate the hurricane will hit the north coast, Monday night or so, it's going to be very, very quiet. We encourage you to stay home. It's not time to be on the road and create mayhem. The supermarkets are open, pharmacies are open, some major businesses are open. So you can go and pick up last minute stuff. And yes, bread is on the shelves.
What
so
about...
The bread shops have done well to supply the supermarkets with bread.
What about
other items?
Sorry about that. We just want to quickly ask you about clearing after the system now. Do you have everything in place for that?
Yes. We as I said earlier, we have made arrangements with various individuals who have tractors. These are contractors. So they'll be ensuring that they're working with National Works Agency and the Municipal Corporation to have their tractors, their trucks out during the hurricane and thereafter the hurricane to ensure that the road and the thoroughfares are cleared right away.
Thank you.
The districts and so on will come secondary, but certainly we'll have to have the major thoroughfares cleared right away. And that is one of our objectives. And you'll see that manifesting itself once the hurricane has passed.
Thank you so much, Mayor of St. Anne's Bay there, Michael Bell Navis. We'll continue with more right after this.
Thank you, Mayor Bill Davis.
Welcome back. We continue to track Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been urging Jamaicans to take Melissa seriously. In his address during a press briefing earlier, he called on the nation to brace for possible impacts and to follow official guidance as the system draws closer.
Be watching this press briefing. Firstly, a few comments on the system itself. The system is quite an unusual one, sitting in the Caribbean Sea for such a long time, making up its mind where it will go. It is obvious that it now has a trajectory where we can, with great certainty, say that Jamaica will be impacted. Let me be clear that the entire Jamaica will be impacted by this storm. The outer bands seem to be very wide, and it is already affecting the Dominican Republic and Haiti with significant rainfall. We should expect the same. So the first impact that we should be preparing for would be heavy rains. Once it becomes a major hurricane, which is projected to be within a day, then we will have heavy winds. The third impact will be the length of time that it will stay. If it continues to be as slow moving as it has been, then we could expect anywhere from 2 to 3 days. Would that be correct, Evan? Or even longer. So those are the three things you should be, in your mind, be prepared for. Now, I know that there are many Jamaicans who are anxious, who are very concerned, and rightfully so. You should be concerned. But the best way to address anxiety and any nervousness and concern is to be prepared. So I would urge...
Well, so Hurricane Melissa is threatening the country, and many residents here in the corporate area are not taking any chances. From hardware stores to parish depots, people have been lining up to get supplies. But for many, the real priority is a simple but vital defense against the expected heavy rains and flooding: sandbags. Andre Jebenson caught up with some shoppers.
On a typical Saturday like this, the Green Thumbs would be out in full bloom, loading up on topsoil, sand and gravel to pamper their petunias and boost their backyard beds. But today, it is not about growing gardens, it's about guarding homes. Instead of nurturing seedlings, the weekend warriors are stacking sandbags. The same earth they'd used to cradle roots will now be packed tight to block water. Each bag weighs roughly 60 pounds, give or take the enthusiasm of the men filling them. And by the look of things, Melissa's the only one getting planted this weekend.
Tell me, sir, how you're preparing for the impending hurricane?
I am just getting some sandbags just from my backyard, and everything else is good. I have food. I'm perfect. I'm good. Okay.
Why did you find the sand necessary?
Now and again, the backyard has been saturated with constant rain, and the water is running out as quick as possible.
What would you say to others who have probably not taken this precaution?
I tell them to start right now. Still have a few more hours. Do what you need to do. Be prepared based on what I've heard from the reports. Looks like we're gonna get a lot of rain, so be prepared.
Sandbags are a low-tech, high-impact solution to rising water. When packed and stacked properly, they act as temporary levees to redirect or slow the flow of flood waters. The sand inside absorbs and blocks water, forming a dense barrier that can prevent or reduce flooding in buildings. Unlike plastic barriers or plywood, sandbags stay in place because of their weight. So, from Jamaica's coastline to flood-prone regions around the world, sandbags have stood the test of time. They may not be glamorous, but when the rain pours and the tide rises, few tools are more reliable. Andre Jebinson, CVM News.
Thanks, Andre. Reliable, and of course, it comes with a cost. Well, for the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, it's not just preparing to battle the weather, but also thieves. As the company intensifies preparation efforts, it's issuing a stern warning to vandals. As it says, cable theft could put lives and the power grid at risk. The utility company held a special media briefing at its headquarters on Friday. Our reporter Amoy Harriot was there.
Line workers from the United States arriving at the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS headquarters in New Kingston on Friday. The team seen here is among a group of over 60 workers being brought into Jamaica by the utility company from the US, Canada, and St. Vincent in preparation for the effects of Tropical Storm Melissa. But beyond the wind and rain, the company says it's bracing for another threat: thieves. This following reports that vandals made off with utility cables in parts of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth during Hurricane Barry last year. Senior Vice President of Energy Delivery at JPS, Blaine Jarrett, admits this remains a problem.
Biggest thing that we have done differently is the collaboration with the community, in terms of working with the community, working in those groups that we told you about, to ensure that persons are aware. They're on the individual level. There are little that we can do, to be honest with you, to change the perception of people. But the more that we communicate, the more we engage the communities, the more we get the community support.
He says there appears to be an active market for stolen items from the utility company.
What we do have as a challenge, there's still a problem with people stealing our metal-type infrastructure or conductors. There seems to be an active market for those sort of things, and we are seeing a lot of theft. We are also seeing a lot of theft from our street lights. Right? People are stealing our street lights very, very extensively. And there's not. The other thing that we have been committed for these new storms is that the police has been partnered with us to give us greater coverage for our facilities. But it's still work in progress.
And this also plays into another area of concern: Jamaicans using illegal electricity connections. Hugh Grant is CEO of JPS.
Many times those illegal connections to the systems are compromised during hurricanes. So whenever we restore some of those main lines, those compromised connections for illegal theft are compromised and sometimes false and takes out back the main lines. So by having those illegal connections on the system, one, it's a significant safety concern. So first and foremost, we got to consider the safety of our customers and of our co-workers. So that's a tremendous challenge on that front. But secondly, from a grid reliability and resiliency perspective, we are also compromised on that front. So given those two significant compromises, we strongly encourage folks to stop the theft that's happening on the grid.
That aside, the utility company says it's intensifying works within its incident command center as it activates emergency response plans ahead of the storm. The company has systems like the one seen here that monitors the number of customers who are without electricity. This figure, 2,082, which is the number of customers currently without power, they expect will multiply during Melissa. But they insist they're prepared to respond.
Taking information from the field, this gives you a status of the in or out, whether the customer is affected by an outage or not. And this is updated, this particular screen is updated every 15 minutes. With that information, we then use that information to deploy our response. So you will see, if it was an event, you will see, for example, if there's a significant outage, this dial will be dialing back, and then you could drill, come back to the parish, Dave, you could drill down to the parish, and you will see at the parish level. Mr.
Jarrett notes that in the event of adverse weather, where widespread power outage usually occurs, the company restores power in order of priority.
Some of the priority orders, for example, you might have hospitals being out. You may have critical water facilities that are out. You may have morgues that are out. I'll just give you some examples. At that point in time, when you get all that information, our team who have done the assessment provide that information, and then we are able to give an estimated time of restoration. And then the process of executing would follow that same priority order to restore our customers. So it's really a little more involved. It's not on a case-by-case basis. You take a broader look, and you get into the priority to get the grid restored and our customers restored in the order of priority that is required.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
And just before we go, some information we want you to be paying attention to as we continue to track Melissa. Sunday afternoon to early Tuesday that's in Haiti. Kingston, Sunday at about 1 p.m. That's the earliest reasonable time we should expect Melissa, and most likely at about 5 in the afternoon on Monday. For Spanish Town now, look out now, 5 o'clock. Pay attention to that. That's the earliest time Melissa could be impacting Spanish Town. And 5 p.m. on Monday. In Montego Bay now, about 1 o'clock, look out, Melissa could be impacting that area, and 7 p.m. on Monday through to 7 p.m. Make it through to 7 p.m. Let's see what's happening. We had a picture earlier of what was going on the Flat Bridge. Let's see if we, oh yes, there we go. It's still uneventful. We will continue to monitor the gorge and bring you live pictures where possible so you can know what routes to travel as you make your way in or out of the city. And that will do it for our coverage at this time. Remember to join us later on at 7 o'clock for our major newscast. On behalf of the entire team, pleasant viewing. Remember, stay tuned for what's happening with Hurricane Melissa.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry, your guide for this enlightening journey. Stay with us. There's much ahead to inform, inspire, and uplift. Thanks for staying with us. As the hurricane season unfolds, being prepared can make all the difference, not just for your home, but for your health. So,